Nothing happened.
कुछ नहीं किया.
Bruno. Yes, please. I was very mad at Bruno. My God, I even tweeted about it. I mean, I love.
Somewhere around 15th or 16th, and that screenshot of the Manchester United just above relegation wala. Oh my God!
Yeah. One trick pony, guys. Every single one of them. Right.
Very rich coming from an Anthony fan.
That was
Harish was having a party in Taiwan as we speak, but yeah. Anyways.
हरीश ने पूरे ताइवान में लंगर किया है भाई. अब मजे करो गरीब के बच्चों. Okay. और कोई बीच में नहीं होने वाला. Okay, welcome back to the new episode of Cancelled Bottom Red. This time we have the whole gang together. And since we didn't do introduction of Tanmay last time, we'll do Tanmay's introduction. So we have Tanmay on the call. आलिया नहीं बजा रहा है कोई. But ठीक है. Tanmay is known to be Marcus Rashford's ex-lawyer and very recently has been called Reverse Gandhari because every half-decent woman he sees on Twitter he ends up calling her mother. So that's where the name comes from. But
Yep.
I hope that was a fair introduction of Tanmay and we'll quickly move to the games. Let's first start with the Barnsley one, which is not really worth starting, neither worth talking about too much. I don't think all of us have watched the game either. It was a game that we should be winning 7-0. And 7-0 brings back a lot of memories, but let's just focus on the last game, the Barnsley. But yeah, so I think United ball in control played well. It was a good confidence booster for everyone. And I think, yeah, this is pretty much it. I think the reason why Ten Hag did not bring, there was a lot of debating around why Ten Hag did not bring Amas in, why he did not bring Weekly in. So my take on that is, I think he thought that's what I think. He thought it's a long season. And there will be, moments when you will be able to give more minutes to the young players. So that's what he probably thought, let's just use this game to build more confidence. That's my thinking. But all do you think? And I think Hamas, he just don't think he's ready. Hamas is also very young, so probably that's
We had somebody else at left back. Who was it?
Collier.
So yeah, he said that Collier is going to get more minutes in that position. So he's developing him as a backup over there. That's what he said in one of his press conferences.
He said he wants to develop Collier as a fullback. Or he wants to
as a backup.
He doesn't trust his left backs at all.
Yep.
He doesn't have a left.
And he doesn't trust his medical team either because he has already been scammed once.
Yeah. Malaysia is just coming back from the dead after a long time, and I don't know.
We might have to.
Coming. So,
but I don't know how finished will Malash. 1.5 years of.
Yeah.
I don't know what his injury is. It's not an ACL. No one has told.
If someone goes out so long,
his injuries like Bumrah, they haven't revealed the reason. Nothing is happening. We just know he's injured.
Because they actually want to keep it under the wraps so that the other people
something. Something about a botched knee surgery. Uska.
Yeah. He got his own doctor to do it in the Netherlands and fucked it up.
Yep.
Anyway,
but he looks quite fit, anyways. From the pictures, at least. I don't know what's the reaction.
Because you're used to seeing a fullback who doesn't look like the fittest even when he's fit. That's where the reference comes from, like the relative idea of it.
Right. Anyways, coming back to the discussion, I think 7-0.
Beating mighty Barcelona 7-0 on a Champions League night. That's fine.
3 braces.
Light one. 3 braces and a goal.
Make foundation goal.
Yep. Anthony scoring the Harish penalty. So basically,
Anthony scored a goal. Remember in the last episode, I said I would love it if Anthony scores. He had a good game.
And he did score.
Yeah.
Harish was having a party in Taiwan as we speak, but yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Harish ने पूरे ताइवान में लंगर किया है भाई. अब मजे करो गरीब के बच्चों.
Madman roaming around the streets naked.
शर्टलेस भागा था हरीश ताइवान के
मैं तो उसको एक्चुअली मैं तो एजेंडा रन करने वाला था क्योंकि कैसेमेरो रैशफोर्ड से उसका हैट्रिक पेनल्टी देके एंटनी को जस्ट कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग के लिए दिया था इसलिए आई वाज कंप्लीटली प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर कि व्हाई डिड ही मेस अप रैशफोर्ड हैट्रिक पर ठीक है आगे इतने गोल मारे तो कांट रियली कंप्लेन अबाउट
बैलेंस आउट हो गया बट ठीक है रैशफोर्ड आल्सो हैड अ गुड गेम बट आई थिंक दैट इज इनफ अबाउट Barnsley. Let's come back to the bigger talking point, the Palace game, in which we created a lot of chances but Ten Hag decided to add more like diverse flavors in the second half. I would love to know what you all think. Let's start with whom? Let's start with Chaitanya Kulkarni. Chaitanya, what do you think?
Neutral opinion चाहिए चलो. Positive चाहिए.
Let's start on a positive note.
Negative आएगा.
फिर we'll bring Harish and then last में we'll bring Chaitanya Shetty.
My God. Okay, fine. All right, so yeah, the game started off like we left against Barnsley. So we had a proper good game. We created lots of chances. Should have been 4-5 up easily by halftime, but things were just not meant to be behind us.
Score
You
क्या
said
ही
you called me optimistic, so I'm gonna hype them up like anything. So anyway.
I think he counted both the chances में Garnacho hit the bar and then Bruno again hit the bar.
Yeah,
तो
yeah.
दोनों एक एक गोल थे वहाँ पे दो गोल आने थे.
नेगेटिव उतना हाइप करेंगे तो पॉजिटिव भी उतना हाइप करूंगा मैं. So that's the
नहीं
thing.
नहीं भाई
Anyways.
वैसे सही बात है. That's why we have you here.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, should have had at least 3 to 4 goals. So that was there. We missed quite a few of big chances. And in the second half as well, it started well, but after 60 minutes, after that dreaded substitution, things took a pretty bad turn, and we just stopped creating all the chances, and everything turned stagnant. And by the time of 80 to 95, I mean, I was cursing Martinez every minute because of what he was doing over there. I don't know what he was trying to do.
5'3" and an attitude. That meme भाई एकदम
Literally, I
lucky
mean,
to not get booked वहाँ पे.
yeah. I mean, he was wasting time as if we were leading 3 to 4 goals. But seriously, that was really stagnant play for the last 15 minutes that we should have, played much, much better and tried to go for the win. I don't know what we were doing, but probably we were tired. I don't know what they were doing, but we still should have gone and pressed harder for the goal. But anyways, we took on from the momentum from the Barnsley game and created a lot of chances. Of course, we need to be clinical and need to do better at finishing. There was a Twitter tweet saying that we were leading those charts in the number of chances created and the XG, but we are still lacking clinical finishing. And since Zirkzee and Ericsson went off, we completely became stagnant. There were no runs made. Then the amount of runs Garnacho was making, I didn't think Rashford did that, and we became more stagnant, and we should have
Rashford
definitely
was
should have
playing through the
won the
middle
game.
for a while.
For a while, and then he shifted to the left
Yeah.
once Hoyland came. So yeah, we should have done better, but yeah, that
I
it was
think-
frustrating. I mean, the draw feels like a loss.
Because it should feel like a loss.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that substitution of Zirkzee, that kind of gave us a lot of perspective on what he really brings to the team, the way he connects the attack. I do think that was a big difference. It was a much bigger difference maker than Ericsson leaving. Like taking Zirkzee out was a much bigger stinker. I'll go to Tanmay. Tanmay, what do you think? What went wrong in the second half?
I guess two things, like you can just go in on the manager on the in-game management part, and you can also go in on the players for the not finishing the chances part, and ultimately koi kaun sa bhi route le le, it's gonna be a combination of both. So the whole in-game management thing shouldn't have happened, but agar we are comfortable, like we are against Southampton at halftime 2-0 up, then we know we can control a game and not necessarily collapse every time. वो Southampton के against evidence मिल गया था. We were 2-0 up, and second half also we just finished it with 3-0, and it was pretty easy. And that should have been the case in the first place. It should not have been 0-0. And good teams are actually great at killing chances, and we don't do that. And again, like we were talking off camera once about us leading the XG charts and all, but Liverpool are also there in second. I think Tottenham are there in third, or somebody else is there. But again, we create similar XG as them, but they also are sitting on double the goals we have scored. So it's like evidently a problem. So काफी बड़ा sample size है, and we should be putting games away. That's one thing. That's on the players. But when you were and एक point था around 60-65th minute जब we were inching closer and closer, एक एक था कि the next 10 minutes is gonna give us a goal, and then for I know he must have had his reason, and I don't have an issue with Rashford coming on, but I think he should have shuffled. Either maybe take out Garnacho if you don't want to shift him to the right, take Rashford on the left, remove Ahmad. Take a hard call, but he didn't want to remove Ahmad, he didn't want to remove Garnacho, and he wanted to chuck Rashford in also. And the obvious victim to that was Zirkzee, who was actually the one that was making us stick. So again, it felt like उसको एक हार्ड डिसीजन लेना नहीं था तीनों में से एक निकालने को, इसलिए he just went overboard and removed the most obvious person, but that person was linking the things, so it fell apart. So feels like there is a reluctance to take decisions based on I guess merit बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि he historically favors some players and then takes decisions on them and sticks with them until it goes wrong and again a pattern emerges. So feels like a combination. दोनों की गलती तो है, players finish करते तो वो again opportunity आती ही नहीं, पर he didn't help himself in any way. I thought
So
about
in this
that decision.
situation, who do you think was favored? Ahmad was favored. Garnacho was favored. Who?
I thought as Rashford is a confidence and a flow type player, firstly, I thought he shouldn't have been benched, but I understand that there are three wingers for two positions, so कोई ना कोई तो miss out करने ही वाला है. But then again, you need a goal. If you need Rashford, if you're bringing him on, I think you have to take the tough call that I'm bringing on Rashford. So one of the two wingers has to come off, and then you take a calculated call on who do you think offers more, whose side is being penetrated more, that sort of a thing. But he did the simple thing that he didn't want to take one of the wingers off, so he just took Rashford up front and took Zugzi off, and that cost us. Again, Ericsson को निकाल के, even if you had brought, forget Mount you can say that again he's building fitness, maybe he wouldn't have been sharp. But Casemiro लाता तो भी he would have been better in the final third also, as he has shown. But he brought on Ugarte, which felt like, I don't know, what was Ugarte going to do in 20 minutes? In
It
that
had
case.
more to
So,
do with building fitness for Ugarte. I think getting him match ready, giving him more PL minutes. That's I think where
हाँ,
the ball was coming from. But I think Menu should
yeah, I
have been the
understand, but like 20 minutes to go and you need a goal, match fitness तो बाद में हो सकता है. So I think
I don't even
decisions
think
थोड़े-
the substitution decision, the midfield substitution decision was affected our attack more than the attacking substitution decision.
Yeah.
क्योंकि that's the thing with Ericsson. No, he's great, but he has no legs. That's the one thing. We need a Ericsson even for to make Bruno tick, but Ericsson doesn't have the legs. So वो trade off is costing us big time.
Yeah.
Harish, what do you think?
Coming to the positives, I think Chetan and everyone have already mentioned that we have played well. And we have created a lot of chances for 60 minutes, and we also didn't concede a lot of chances. These are two critical issues we had from last season, which we have now resolved. I mean, consistently we are seeing, apart from the Liverpool game, maybe that we are creating enough chances at the same time being not giving away silly chances like we used to do last season. The gap between midfield and defense and attack seems sorted. The press seems better. So there doesn't like the critical issues from last season are kind of solved, I would say, at least based on what the 5-6 games that I'm seeing. And it should get better on with, you start rotating players, you get more players fit, and you start having players fit, and then you keep rotating. I'm assuming, and players also, they start gelling into the team. I think this will go on to be better. One more thing, which not a lot of people mention, I think, is the build-up play from the back. Over the past 6-7, whatever, from City game in the Community Shield, we have been building out from the back very, very well. Been fast, apart from I think the 10 minutes from the Crystal Palace game. But either way, at least if we talk about the first 60-70 minutes, it's been good.
Yep.
Then there's not been any issues. Somehow or the other, we are getting the ball to the final third as much as we would like to. And we're not, mainly it's that we're not giving out the ball in dangerous positions, because that's what we faced a lot of times. Ball never used to come out of our own half. So these are the two positives. And then coming to the negatives, yes, I think the in-game subs, as you mentioned, Xerxes sub was the game changer. I feel Zagzi was doing a lot where he was occupying the centre backs. He was actually the only physically strong player in our entire lineup. I mean, midfield to thing, right?
Yeah, his physical presence actually helps.
Yes.
It goes a little underrated.
So it was. I mean, I get the idea behind him. Maybe as Tanmay also mentioned, but also on the fact that Rashford play with kind of Anthony and Garnacho as a striker, right, in versus Barnsley. So he was kind of adapted to being a centre forward, but it was not the kind of game where you play Rashford as a centre forward, especially when you don't have any physical strength at all in anywhere at any point in your midfield.
Would say, and especially with the game that is coming up versus Spurs, which is pretty much important for us in the context of top four. We really need to be taking these chances, because if we lose that game versus Spurs, it will be like 6 games, 7 points.
We're already 11th here.
Yeah. That'll look like chaos.
And I think if we lose that game, we end up somewhere around 15th or 16th. And that screenshot of the Manchester United just above relegation, wala, oh my God.
Yeah. It's like it runs there's a cycle. It comes back every once in a while. Everyone's like, क्या United relegate होने वाली है?
Exactly.
कभी होना नहीं है, but लेकिन
Rivals are
हमसे
gonna
बात
face.
करनी है.
And our own fans are going to feast for some time. But anyways,
But I also wanted to bring some points on the game. LEG's what I found really interesting was, if you notice the first half, I think till 40th minute, United did not concede even one shot. I think it was till 35 or 40th minute. And what I really liked, which is a big improvement from the last season, and to be very honest, it should be the bare minimum. But United did not look like a chaotic team. There was no
there was control. There was a lot of control.
And our ball retention was extremely good in the first half. Palace looked like they looked helpless. United could have been up by 2-3 goals. I don't know. Even scoring a few goals could have even made things even worse for Palace. They were very lucky that they did not concede. And I think Ten Hag did learn his lesson that, if you remember, in the first place, when Eriksen, Menu, and Bruno were decided to start together, the only thing that even I was saying in the group, let's just hope they make the fullbacks inward. And if you notice in this game, Dalot was taking very interesting positions. I noticed he was playing like an LCM in the build-up, even in the second phase, when Eriksen was joining the back three, and then Dalot was far ahead. And then when Garnacho was getting the ball, Dallo was already in the final third. And Dallo was doing a lot of running. I think he had a very good game and his work ethic helped a lot. If he was a little tired towards the end, he obviously would be. He runs a lot. And I also think Onana had a good game. He made those double saves were really, really, really important.
Incredible.
Yeah, that second save was wild.
We got a point only because of Onana.
Yeah,
Exactly. And overall, I think a game like this, it's obviously frustrating. But I think I would have hated it more. Like if I think about the last season, if we were not creating enough chances, if we were conceding a lot of chances,
Yeah.
and both of things are not happening, and conversion is something that is a very confidence kind of thing, and also it's a thing कि कभी-कभी दिन होता है score कभी-कभी होता है. Like जो chance Garnacho ने miss करे दोनों, I wouldn't say miss करे, but हाँ miss ही करे एक तरह से. He scores one of those. Even the one Bruno missed, he scores those. Even both the chances Bruno got, at least he scores at least one of them. Bruno scores wild goals. So in an ideal world, you are winning this game very comfortably. But ठीक है, we did not. That's what matters कि भाई तुमने गोल मारा कि नहीं मारा. We did not
Can't
score.
fault them for their performance, but they should be doing better with the finishing. I think, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, what I liked was it doesn't concern me that this team doesn't know how to break a team, how to create chances, and what to do, how do all the things to win the game. The only thing that they're missing is that final putting the ball into the net. They are coming very close, but even our set pieces were really good. I think from the
Very
last
good, very good.
2-3 games that we are making good. I think both Zirkzee and Hoy, and especially Delic, they had really good chances. So I think draw ho gaya, theek hai. When we'll see the bigger picture, like this game has positives to take from it, more positives than negative in my view. Overall, it's obviously frustrating to. It feels like a loss, honestly, when you are playing so good and you don't win. But yeah, I think largely it was a fairly positive game.
Yep.
Who do you think, like, last thing, who were the best performers? Who were the worst performers? I'll start with CJ here.
Best performers again, I'd say Garnacho and Ericsson.
Worst ones.
Worst ones. I mean, everybody had a decent. Bruno. Yes. I was very mad at Bruno. My God, I even tweeted about it. I mean, I love the guy, but I was very pissed off at him yesterday. I mean, what was he doing yesterday? So much.
So he
talent.
was bad from his own standards, or in general, he was a bad player.
From his own standards, yes, but on an average, I guess he had a decent to par game. But yeah, I was not very happy with Bruno yesterday. So, I mean, it's shocking to say Bruno was our worst player, but that's what I feel. I mean,
No.
Alex was decent. Yeah.
Honestly,
Martinez from the 88th minute, I would say even Martinez was pretty bad. He could have done better with the distribution and passing. So yeah, between Martinez and Bruno, I guess.
I still cannot wrap my head around why Martinez did that.
I thought
My God.
he saw some balloon and wanted to burst it. ऐसा कुछ
मुझे ऐसा लगता है अंदर का ना एक कांडी बच्चा नहीं होता जो स्कूल में बंक मारता है सस्पेंड हो जाता है वो उसको जग गया एकदम से भाई कूद गया बॉल पे he could have lunged one the ball comfortably पता नहीं क्या सोच रहा था anyway
honestly, I can't blame him. I mean, I obviously blame him. That was just stupid. But understand, मैं घर पे वही कर रहा था सोफा पे लिटरली सेम जंप्स मार रहा था इतना फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग हुआ था हाँ उसके बेसिकली दिमाग में वही आया वो इन द हीट ऑफ द मोमेंट वो वही फ्रस्ट्रेशन एक्सप्रेस किया दैट्स द ओनली वे यू कैन जस्टिफाई इट बाकी व्हाट वाज गोइंग ऑन इन हिज माइंड एंड आई विल स्टार्ट विद द वर्स्ट परफॉर्मर्स ब्रूनो 100% and ये game छोड़ो he has been horrible since the season began. He has not had one 8 on 10 game so far. And if anybody can,
True.
and he is not doing the basic things also like the whole he can lose the ball because he's creating chances thing works, but the whole there is a literal fail compilation of him from yesterday, and it's just horrible. Like under no pressure, he's just making outside of the hoop passes, losing possession, and वो दो chances I think straight up converted into Palace turnovers जो completely Bruno पे थे जो उनके दो close chances आए थे. So he's just not been great since the season began, and again good performers. I would say I'm just happy with how impressively Delict has grown inside 3 games.
Yeah,
he
he
just
was quite good. Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
great. And he's the number one centre back. And I think अगर कोई बाहर जाएगा तो Martinez ही जाएगा. Even though we know
तो बहुत तेजी में जाएगा
he's not been great. And the worst part about Palace was last 20 minutes we are used to Manchester United rock and roll football. Just throw the kitchen sink and hope for the best. वो हुआ नहीं ना तो that
we did the opposite of that.
हाँ exactly. It felt like okay shit Brighton का PTSD हुआ. We were winning the game. Suddenly we lost. So just take a point and dip. तो
खेल भी हम पॉटर के ब्राइटन जैसा रहे हैं बहुत XG बनाते हैं और then convert
exactly.
You mentioned Delic. I'll just mention one thing that I really liked about him that I don't see our centre backs doing. There was one moment when Mateta was on. He was 1-on-1 with Delic, and he not only just slowed him down, but he also took him to a corner. The whole team was able to fall back, and eventually did not even let him cross, and the ball came back to Onana. That is something that I absolutely loved. He had the pace to also cover ground and also the physicality to put him to a corner. Harish, then who were the worst and best performers?
For me, worst performer I would say was Martinez. I really didn't like what he was doing. बहुत खराब लगा. And
Great assessment.
Right. क्या हो गया?
I didn't like what he was doing.
I didn't like, really didn't like it. कुछ नहीं, I was not doing anything.
I told him that's the best way to summarize it.
I mean, he was not passing. He was not making those passes. He was not looking in his zone. He was randomly coming out of his defensive line. Literally, at the very least, I would expect him to make those ground line breaking passes to Bruno on the half turn. That was not there. And it looked like he just was just walking around the pitch. And then all of a sudden he jumps on. That was a very, very stupid challenge, I would say. I lost my head. I lost my head. I'm like, it felt like there was some balloon on the pitch and then they scored.
Yeah.
Right?
It made no sense to do something like that.
Exactly. And outside of that, I think Bruno really had a bad game. It looked like he was playing against us, in all honesty. I mean, right? I think there's a lot of Twitter memes as well. See,
Crazy Casemiro impression right there.
crazy. He is missing Casemiro. I can clearly see that. But that has been kind of Bruno's issue as well this whole season, as Sanmay has mentioned. He's not really, he's got the ball in good position. It's not that he's dropping deep. Last season, okay, we were all saying, okay, he's dropping a bit too deep.
Dropping too deep.
Right
Playing
now,
on
whatever
right.
may be the midfield combination, he's getting the ball where he needs to be getting it, and somehow it's not reaching our forwards.
He's also not creating a lot of chances.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't really want
the numbers,
Bruno to. I mean, Bruno scoring goals is a plus, but ultimately, Bruno creation is what he's there in the team for.
Therefore, yeah.
He's we call him the creative player of United. He needs to create as simple as that. We don't.
Oman is creating more chances than him.
It's good if
And
someone is
you
creating. It's good.
can't
but
be
like-
outclassed by a player wearing a pacemaker.
Exactly.
That's simple. No criteria enough.
Man, I have been so impressed by Eriksen, to be very honest. He's been class, absolute, and he brings so much composure to the midfield, man. Love it. Worst performer बता दिया.
Best performer, as you said, Eriksen. I was surprised he's played well for 70 minutes on 3 games in a row. He's class, everyone knows it. Maybe once Menu comes back, when Mount comes back and Ugarte starts, we'll probably see a bit more of him at these 60-minute marks instead of having some other person coming in like Ugarte and breaking down. So I'm hopeful when in the future that when we are like in these situations 0-0 and then you bring Eriksen on, we are definitely going to be much more fluid in the final third than what we see today. Garnacho had a very good game. I think he missed chances. Yes, that's expected from forwards. I don't want my forwards to not make runs and not score goals, or just randomly get the ball somewhere and then just go out and beat 10 people and then score a goal. Right? It's also about what does he bring to the team when he does not have the ball. He's been making those off-ball runs and he's also been good defensively. On the ball, he can still be a bit better. He's not creating, but it's okay, I would say right now. But the good thing is he's improving. His crossing has improved. He looks clearly like a player who's been improving, which is something we don't see much out of United young players. Always since the past decade, I would say every young player who's come here just been the same. No improvement, nothing. It's just one trick pony, guys. Every single one of them, right?
Very rich coming from an Anthony fan.
But it is what it is. I mean, technically, when Anthony was a young player and he's not
Comment of the day, but yeah.
He's not improved anything from the. It's not just academy players, right? Young 20, 21, 22 साल के बच्चे. They don't. And outside another special mention to Delete and Onana. They've been really, really solid this season. I think Onana beat out our Liverpool game. Maybe he could have saved the 2 goals, but I think Onana and Delete especially has been very, very solid. I don't think he's put a wrong foot yet so far.
Yeah.
Onana's those two save. I think they were up there with whatever they has provided us.
That Arsenal game you reminded.
I think the Everton game as well where we made a double save. But the Arsenal game as well. The Sanchez.
Best and worst for you? You.
Laughing like who
He's already in sleep.
चेटी से क्या हो गया भाई? मेरे भी कुछ हो गया तुम लोग.
But yeah, best player I would say Garnacho from whatever I saw for the last 2 games. Worst player, Martinez easily. I don't know what he was doing in the last 25 minutes. Really, that was really stupid.
Yeah, I saw the last 25 minutes. My God, what he tolerated. Okay.
It was
Headlock वाला induce करने वाला था वो.
And then obviously after Martinez, second worst player would be Bruno. He's been pretty much bad this season, not be clinical at all. Because Bruno, when he came in at Manchester United 4 years ago, he was clinical in front of goal. But for the last 2 years, he just has been really bad when it comes to finishing.
Do you think that cracked renewal is having an impact on him? I don't know because
He's not that kind of guy. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
But it's kind of strange. You expect Bruno to do better with better players.
Yeah. I mean, he's such a class act.
I think he'll get better. It's about that one moment he needs.
Yeah. It's one player that doesn't concern me in that regard.
Yeah. And special shout out to Dilip and Mazrui for being the best performers so far. I think Mazrui has been pretty much solid, I would say.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's been pretty much solid, I would say.
And also has the brain cell, so quite an upgrade on the last one.
Obviously.
There is no podcast episode without like
When
mention of who should win.
Spider-Man slander.
the reason, I mean, obviously, we can say bottom minutes. We should have these mentions.
Yeah, Harish said one trick pony and surprisingly Anthony took all the spotlight.
Exactly. उसका description था, a forward who takes the ball, tries to beat 10 men and score. And I thought, how is he not seeing what he's saying?
But yeah,
Don't say anything to Harish. Anthony scored a penalty.
yeah. And they did 5 celebrations. They did 5 celebrations after that. Instant celebration counter वाला meme है. I love that. कभी ये करेगा जाके फिर ये करेगा जाके
I mean,
खतरनाक.
it's the goal counter. He has every counter right now. Goal counter, celebration counter, aura counter.
Yeah, I really wish Rashford had that in him. The shamelessness Anthony has. I really wish Rashford had that.
It would have
Like,
helped him. It would have
Rashford would be a world beater if he conducted himself like Anthony. Like with the same talent, but like conduct yourself like Anthony. In my opinion, the best performers, there were too many. I think both Mazraoui, Derek, and even Dallo, all three of them almost had flawless game. I don't even think they put even if put wrong. Same goes for Zirkzee. I wouldn't say Garnacho did. Garnacho could have had a 10 on 10 game if he scored even one of the goals. But the fact that both goals did not go in, even I would say 3 chances because in which he was sliding, that could also be at least make contact on that. I would have said the 10 on 10 performance, but the fact that he didn't convert, that is a very negative one because you're a forward, you're supposed to score goals. Even if chances are like 60-40, whatever it is, you're playing for United. Anyway. Worst performance, I think, Menu, Bruno, I was not very impressed by both of them. Even Martinez, so everyone has said, and I would agree with what you guys said.
For me,
I think Menu's minutes need to reduce a
So
little
and so
bit.
game. Yeah.
The thing is, कि when you talk about Menu, it gets a little, the matter gets a little sensitive because you think कि ये तो बच्चा है ना, ये वाला है, बच्चे को नफरत करता है गंदे आदमी भाई क्या
You are
करता
on the
है?
radar of Twitter now.
Yeah.
radar of top of it.
But I think just manage his minutes properly. I think could have kept Ericsson on for a little bit more. Maybe bring Casemiro in, bring someone like Mount in later. But Menu should have been the first player to be taken off. I think. And Zogze should not have. But like I did not mention this part, but I think everyone is in agreement. Zogze should have stayed on the pitch. Ahmad had a very so and so game. Not bad, not great either. Like Chaitanya Shetty says.
Could be better. Not bad, not great.
Decent can do better. Okay, then I think any closing thoughts? Like I'll just ask one simple question. You just have to say yes or no. Maybe add a sentence to it.
Upcoming game.
Did this game does it concern you about United season? It fills you with optimism, or it does not have any effect, or you just feel what you were feeling before this game? I'll start with Tanmay.
No, it doesn't deflate me too much, but एक बारी है, and we said कि if we put away our chances, वो discussion होता ही नहीं in game management का, but it's good that it happened because ऐसे games होने वाले हैं where you deserve to win and you're not gonna, and what your manager does in those situations is important to know whether he's the right fit or no. So this account was not great, but hopefully improves from that. So in a way, okay, performance was good, result was bad. My fear is it a little too late in the race because we are falling behind and there are too many rivals emerging for top four. So that's the only concern. Ki has the damage been done or not? We'll see, I guess, in the future.
Harish.
For me, I think I liked what I saw at least till 60 minutes, and then the rest 30 minutes I feel is going to be is something we'll see more and more. We need to finish, as I said in the first podcast, we need to finish these games in 60 minutes, and then the 30 minutes really wouldn't matter at all. What we like, and also then a lot of players that are going to come in, right? Mount, Malaysia, Hoyland, maybe Lukshaw, maybe as always, and then Ugarte is not yet coming as well, right? So when you bring in all those players, you have a lot more depth in your bench. People like Ericsson who are playing really well will now be coming on from the bench, right? So that will kind of uh, improve our performance, I would say, once we start playing these midweek fixtures where we rotate our players and all the players start getting minutes, all the players gel in well, and then the team becomes a bit more refined. So I'm really excited to see what happens. If we still don't play well and if our performance is still bad, I think it will be on the manager. And the in-game subs, as Tanmay said, is something which is concerning. Yes, this game should not have gone till that point, but if you look at any game, any random game where we have 1-1 probably, and you make such a kind of subs, it's also possible in that against a team which has better quality than Crystal Palace, we're going to be trashed with such kind of subs. So that is something we need to be careful about. So it's a bit of a concern, I would definitely say. But for now, let's focus. I feel we should focus on the first 60, then the last 30, and finish off the games.
Kulkarni, bro, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, considering both Tanmay's and Harish points, like in game management, we had an extensive discussion. Which we should have, some which we shouldn't have. Because yeah, if we would have killed the game in the first 60, then like I mentioned earlier that we wouldn't have microanalyzed that 30 minutes that much. But yeah, so we really need to do better in terms of finishing chances. Like Shetty Bhai said a while ago that there's been a
Kuch acha nahi
pattern.
hua.
कुछ अच्छा नहीं हुआ, and there's been a pattern of us not finishing the chances. Hopefully it's just a confidence thing and that thing changes. But yeah, if this pattern continue going, and then even the in-game subs thing will be take a big bearing, and more scrutiny will come onto Ten Hag. So this season he really does not have any excuses. He's got a lot of signings, and we've got a lot of players coming back from the injury as well. So I really don't think Ten Hag has a lot of excuses to make this season, and uh, all eyes are on him. So he just needs to get results the best way possible. Should this concern me this game? Probably in terms of the finishing, but otherwise, the performance wise, we were quite good, and no bozo moments. So that was also a plus. So hopefully that
Bar the Martinez one.
Bar the Martinez one. Yeah,
That was a bozoest moment
yeah.
from the season.
Didn't cost us a goal, so I wouldn't call it bozo, but yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, so hopefully we can carry on with the performance part and be better with the finishing part, and then we can focus on the in-game management. So one thing at a time.
Shetty brother, what do you think?
I think from the optimistic side, I'd say last three fixtures we have done well. I'd say convincing win was Southampton, great with astonishing win versus Barnsley, and this one too. I think we did well. I'd say overall. But yeah, like we didn't get battered like Liverpool against Liverpool. It didn't happen. What concerns me is like the next game, I'd say, because that's something.
Which team are we playing next?
It's
Maintain.
in the league. Spurs.
He's talking about Spurs. I know. I will
Ten Hag playing 20.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the table right now, Premier League table. Aston Villa has won 4 games out of 5. Even Chelsea are up there. Chelsea and Newcastle have 3 wins with 10 points. So if we lose this one, and this is at Old Trafford, by the way, this will look really bad because winning this Crystal Palace game would have been psychologically good for the players. I would say it would have been a feel good thing. But right now, we have another stop-start thing right now. So we really need to keep the momentum going because one concern I have is the fixtures would start to congest towards when we come towards January and February with Europa League and FA Cup fixtures in the mix. So we really need to consolidate top 4 by then. So losing the ground over here is not looking good for us in the law for the season. So I hope we do win next game. If we lose, I think that's going to be a really difficult season for us because I don't think so. A lot of managers have survived after being at 7 points up in 6 games. Jose only 4 points at times.
Okay, fair enough. I think we have got everyone's
Shubham,
thoughts.
your thoughts?
Acha. Yeah, I still lie on the optimistic side. I think it's a very big season. It's a long season, and I think we have players coming back as well. We have left backs coming back into the team. We have probably our main striker coming back again, and we are yet to start a PL game with our main DM as well. And I think little things make a lot of difference. You saw how Bruno came into that Ole team, and suddenly we started seeing a whole different dynamic. And I certainly believe this is a team that can actually go on a big run of good result. This was in the bigger picture when we look back. This will be this game could be a start of the phase where we start creating a lot of chances. I don't know how well we convert those chances is a different thing. But this is a good start of a phase where we look less chaotic and start creating more chances. So overall, that's why I feel a bit more on the positive side.
चलो बाय द वे रैप करते हैं, मुझे भागना है.
Okay, Tanmay, you can run. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comment. Don't listen to Harish. Don't stop writing that in the comments.
Yep.
Harish will still ask you to do that, but stop writing that.
Stop tanking your own reputation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Harish does that, but I don't know why Harish does anything on Twitter in the first place. Like, it is beyond me, but that's what makes Harish Harish.
Comes from having multiple personalities. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, thank you. We hopefully see you in the next game. Bye.